What's going on, guys? It's Shadow from SG TCG. Finally bringing you guys, as requested, the Carrot gameplay. So I ended up playing it for 2 locals over the weekend. It went a little rough for me. But this is one of the games. I ended up facing a Bonney. I won dice roll, chose second, so I could throw the Bonney off curve so they can't play Basil. Although Bonney has its own curve, it can go odd with the Cavendish into Hody into Zoro. So either or, Bonney is fine going with whichever way they want. So I considered on playing the Shishilin so that I can rest whatever they played next turn, but I opt not to, just so I can swing at this Bonney and then play out a Pedro that I have in hand. So I can set up the next following turn for play. So he does his Bonney ability, ends up finding a Basil Hawkins, and he swings 6. I take it. And I end up getting a 2K counter Ezo, and drawing into one, I believe. So stacking up on counter. And I swing 5 at that Bonney just to clear it off board to not allow him to search. Play the Pedro out and pass. Pedro's got 2 abilities. It's a blocker. On KO, I could get to KO one of my opponent's rested 6 cost or rest one of my opponent's Don. So pretty great card. It could throw a turn off for my opponent. So passed it over to him. He's at 5 Don right now. He's going to attach a Don to Bonney, swing for 6. Here, I think I counter out for 2. Yep, I give him a 2K. He's going to tap 4, play out a Rouge. Typical Bonney play. The Rouge will stand a Don up, so he can use leader ability. And passes to me. I am at 6 Don. Here, I'm going to opt to swing 6 with my Carrot leader. But before that, I'm going to use my ability. Since I have a Minx character on the field, I am able to rest one of my opponent's 5 cost or less characters. So I rest the Rouge, swing 7 at it, so he can't restand the Don. And he ends up using his leader ability to rest the Pedro. And he lets the Rouge go. And then I'm going to place Shishilin and use his ability to restand. And I thought it was able to restand my leader. But reading the card, I realized that it needs to be a character card. So then I realized I'm able to restand my Pedro blocker. So he rested it, and I was able to restand it for this turn. So, you know, accidental works in my favor. So he swings 5. I'm going to counter out with the other Shishilin that I have in my hand. I want to stay somewhat healthy. And he plays out the Hawkins with 1 Don up, obviously. Always going to have a Don up with Bonney. The reason I countered out with the Shishilin is because I wanted to stay healthy, because this turn I am going to play out a Hody Jones. I kind of had all my top end, 10 drop Dofi, Hody, and the 9 drop Zoro in my hand. So kind of bricky, but it is what it is. That's why I didn't counter out of that first swing either. I had the Pedro and Shishilin, and I wanted both of them. So I am thinking about it because I have a play that I could do this next turn. And I'm going to explain it once we get to there. But Hody hits the field. I take a life, rest his Don, and I rest his blocker. And I'm going to swing 6 with my leader first. I think I'm going to swing 5. So I ended up going 5. He takes it. And I'm not sure why I keep a Don up. I definitely shouldn't have. But I end up swinging 8. He takes that as well. I think I was contemplating on swinging 6 with the Pedro as well. But here you're going to see me swing with the Shishilin for 2 to his 5. Really, the only reason why I'm doing this is because this upcoming turn, there's a chance that I am able to kill the Basil when he attacks with the Basil. And I'm considering that just so I can KO it, since it would go rested, and then your Basil ability would not be able to pop off because my entire field is rested. If I would have left the Shishilin active, there's the chance that, he rests the Shishilin and the Basil sticks on the board because it would be knocked by an ability. So he swings 5, and I realize that he's at 9 Don right now. So I opt right now to give him the Shishila, no, the Pedro, and I'm gonna arrest one of his Dons because now he's not able to play out a Zoro, which is what he was planning on doing this turn. I asked him after the game, so I threw his turn off, but he is able to pivot and make the turn effective regardless of the Don rested. So he's gonna tap 5 Don and he's gonna play out a Cavendish. And you see here the Cavendish will trigger out the ability to restand the 2 Don and able to play out another 5 cost. Before that, he swings 7. I think he swings 7 at life. I take it. More than likely, I should have countered right there where I was able to. But yeah, so here comes the Cavendish. Cavendish restands the 2, taps the 5, and then he's gonna play out a carrot. So he's playing Minx on my Minx, or my Fishman really, because he stuns the Hody Jones. So now Hody Jones isn't allowed to swing this upcoming turn, which is unfortunate for me. And here is where I should have played it different. So I use Carrot's ability and I rest Cavendish, and I choose Cavendish over the Carrot just because I know Bonney can get so much value out of Cavendish with restanding 2 Don, but she gets so much value from the Carrot as well. And I opt to rest because I'm contemplating between whether playing out the Zoro or the Dofi. And I end up choosing the Dofi, which was probably hands down the first mistake I made. And I should have played the Zoro out because if I could have survived this turn, I could have swung heavy at him. Obviously, he would have kept the Basil up and blocker up. But I end up choosing the Dofi for the sole reason of if I hit the Zoro, he's going to potentially swing big at me. And I know I don't have that much counter in my hand. So I think the Zoro would have been the better play regardless. But I don't know. At the moment, that's what I was thinking. I also had a decent amount of counter, so I'm not sure why I was thinking that. But he ends up playing his own Zoro, which at that point I figured that it's pretty much GG's if I can't get through this turn. And he has 1 Don left, so I was banking on hopefully top decking a Hody Jones and just swinging for the fences. Because I could have attached 5 on Shishilin, or I could have just swung 8, 8, and 10. But he had 8 cards in hand, so going with that strategy really wasn't optimal. So there's really I put myself in a predicament here. If I had the Zoro, I would have pressured him to go more defensive and potentially more aggro with the Carrot and Cavendish. So there really was no winning for me. So I end up swinging 10 at the Cavendish. He rests the Carrot, and I swing at the Cavendish just so he can't get the ability to restand the 2 Don if he plays anything out. So I end up clearing that, and I still have all 10 Don, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what to do. And I just play out the Zoro. I had nothing else in hand to really play. It was all counter cards, and it being, believe, an event. And then obviously Zoro being a 9 cost, I am not able to stun. Even if I found my own Carrot or Electric Luna, it wouldn't be able to stun it. It's out of range by 2. So at this point, he's pretty much got it established. He's got 3 big swings from the Zoro and his abilities. So he swings 6, stuns the Hody. I counter out with a 2K. If he would have swung 7, it would have been a little bit more effective. But regardless of the fact, again, he still has 3 big swings from Zoro and a Basil swing, because Basil can itself take 2 cards from my own hand. So he swings 5 with his leader. I end up countering for 1, giving him the Wanda. And then now the Zoro Assault starts. Swings 9, uses the ability to restand it on the attack. And here I'm trying to calculate whether if I can get out of any of these swings. I could still draw counter from life, but He also has 9 Don up and then the Basil swing. So I end up taking it. I did have enough counter to get out of the 9K swing. And here he's going to swing 9 again. And I believe this one I'm going to counter out of. And he's going to do Basil. And then he's just going to restand the Zoro one more time. And then just go for game. But yeah, that's round 1 with the carrot. If you guys like the content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Comment down below what you guys thought. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.